What is up, guys? Sam for the Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to show you how to get dominant press man coverage wins with your user. But before we get into the video, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you guys take the time to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the uploads coming your way here on the Madden YouTube channel. If you guys want to take your game to the next level at Madden 21, check out my strategy site, gridirongameplans.gg. Gridiron Game Plans is your one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. Every week in our Vault update, we take a look at the meta, or the most effective tactics available being used by pro players on the MCS circuit, breaking down not only how and why the pros do what they do, but most importantly, how you can counter those metas when you face them in online gameplay. On top of that, your subscription also includes any and every offensive and defensive game plan released on the website while your subscription is active. Currently, that is my 2-4-5 defense is my most recent defense that I put on the website, with the best pass rushing cocktail, great gap shoots for all the popular meta runs, and coverage combinations to lock down the bunch and trips tight end metas. Go check it out. You guys can also check out my giant project of an offensive game plan in the spread playbook. I just released my spread 2x2 with the tight slot open, spread halfback weak, the spread Y flex offset, and the regular spread flex, with over 2 hours of breakdowns just last week. And I'm going to be following up this week with a lot of the ace personnel in that playbook. So that project is going to continue rolling on the website as well. So go check it out, guys. $9.95 per month unlocks the entire website. Okay, let's go ahead and get into today's video. We're actually going to be breaking down a tip that I put on Gridiron Game Plans back in the month of January. And this was a tip that I actually broke down to be used within zone coverage. And I think that this is a great way to isolate one receiver and take him out of the play while playing zone around your user in the event that your user whiffs on a press animation or doesn't get the right type of jam that you're looking for. So in order to do this, I'm just going to sit in 2-man under and kind of break down what this mechanic is, and then we can take it within zone and kind of break it down further. But very few people actually know that if you have a user that is in man coverage on a player, you can physically jam them. And typically speaking, the jam animations you get with your user are better than the ones that you'll get with the AI if you just let them press on their own. Now, Jones actually has the bench press ability. That's neither here nor there. All the bench press ability does in Madden is fatigue the receiver after the release. And even then, EA basically nerfed that early on in the year. With this particular tip that I'm showing you here today, you don't need bench press. You just need good man coverage, good press, and I think good strength is also important. And if you have an advantage on the receiver that you're playing against, you can actually lock them up at the line of scrimmage by pressing the A button on Xbox, that is X on PlayStation, to jam them. And then you can actually steer the release, steering them inside by holding inside of the thumbstick, or steer them outside by holding outside on the thumbstick, depending on what side of the field they're on. And then you could also go for the super win animation, which oftentimes will pancake the receiver if you have an advantage. Now, do not go for the super win if you're going up against a physical archetype. If you try to super win against DK Metcalf, he is going to blow by you. But if you have a smaller, slot type receiver in front of you and you've got a good press corner, when the ball snapped, you could actually hold A and down and lock them up at the line of scrimmage and pancake them. Now, what's really weird about that is that the game actually warps him up to run his route afterwards. I'm not sure why, but you can actually still take them out of the play, pretty well. I mean, you see right there, he basically is done at that point. Now, think about this not from a man coverage standpoint where I have to go, chase him no matter what every play. Think about this from a standpoint of if I wanted to call like Tampa 2, for instance, individually man up that player and play the super win animation where, you just let him run his route and then I can go play wherever I want on the field. This is something that is really interesting to me because this concept right here where you can play Tampa 2, man him up individually, super win him, hopefully, and if he beats you, you can just go lurk your zone appropriately, is much more appealing than taking that risk in man coverage. Now, the whole act of pressing in man coverage is different than pressing in zone coverage. So you notice that when I man up the guy, I can super win him down to the ground. You see that he falls right there and then his route is dead. If I do this in zone, you get a different set of animations. You're going to get chuck animations. So you're going to see here, if I try to do that, it just kind of passes him off. it doesn't actually lock him up. So this is why I think being able to do this in zone coverage, where you call like a Tampa 2 and then individually man up the guy, which allows you to activate your press animations, is considerably different. You see here how I can get those man coverage pancake animations very, very consistently in man on Scotty Miller, but you'll never ever get them in zone. So what you want to do is basically man up a guy individually, press him to the turf, and then go cover your zone within a zone call. If you're doing it at a vert hook, you're going to get nothing but those little chuck animations that occur. So again, you do something like this where you man him up, take him out of the play. If not, no big deal. Now you're lurking in zone coverage, doing what you want. Now, the one drawback to this is obviously that you are going to not be using a blitzed user. Obviously, you guys know that a blitzed user will do some zone chucks, but a blitzed user is a lot more agile. You can change your direction better. You can, cover more turf. So that is the give and take of it. When you do this particular concept, you can take a guy out of a play, but then your agility is different. I mean, you're still, your turn radius is wider. It's harder to cover more field. But it's a really, really good tip for being able to, take a receiver out of play. I mean, we've all faced PA, the skinny post, for instance. Like you imagine the play deep outs where Scotty Miller's, on a deep skinny post, and then you've got, the in route. You just have to pretend here for the sake of argument that Scotty Miller's running a post, and then you've got the deeper out routes and then the little in route. We've all seen this out of this, but you can now just press him out of the play and then go cover whatever you want. Now you're sitting on this, and now his route is, it's not going to get open, and you're playing zone around it. So this tip right here, guys, this is something that Gridiron Game Plans members have known since January. It is something that you can do in any defense that you want. But again, just make sure that if you're in zone, you individually man up your receiver to get those animations. So again here, let me go ahead and go to something else. Now, like I said, trying to do this on a big physical guy is asking for trouble. If I were to go and try to go to work on, let me go ahead and try this here. Like I'm going to try to do this on, ignore the, let me go ahead and flip the play here. See if this works. It's not actually, let me do it. Let me just go ahead and try to do this to Gronk here. I was going to try to go over to Mike Evans with Jones, but it auto flipped. So, if you want to try to do this against Gronk, you stand a chance that, you could get pretty well shut down. I mean, you see right here, I got a pretty good animation, which is going to kind of lead me to my next point. You don't necessarily have to get the pancake animation to be effective in this. You could tie a guy up at the line of scrimmage really well by holding A and down. You see right here, but just make sure that you release him after five yards. In fact, you can kind of go up to 6, 7, 8 yards on this particular tip as well. I've noticed that the buffer on this, where they'll throw the flag for illegal contact, is they let you play a little bit. You see right here, I pancake Gronk on that play. So, this is something that, you guys can practice. I mean, do this in your zone coverage calls, do this in your man coverage calls. Just make sure that you man up the guy with your user to make sure that you can get those super wins. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, drop those below. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Check out gridirongameplans.gg. Again, guys, my newest installment of the spread game plan is coming out soon. It'll be my ace content to go with the 2+ hours of spread content that have already been released. Check out that 245 defensive game plan, and of course, 52 vault updates a year on the website. So we'll see you guys in our next video. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.